Namaste all. Namaste. Namaste. We are continuing with Ashwapati's journey, and we've had at least 2 or 3 evenings when we've seen how vast his consciousness already has become. So we'll begin with the line, "To the still heights and to the troubled depths." To the still heights and to the troubled depths, his equal spirit gave its vast ascent. A poised serenity of tranquil strength, a wide, unshaken look on time's unrest, faced all experience with unaltered peace. And this is what Sri Aurobindo says. To do this yoga, you first have to establish the peace in you. If we're always tossed back and forth by these dualities, there is no way that we can get out of this. So we see that Ashwapati is giving his vast ascent through his equal spirit to these still heights and to the troubled depths, because the divine doesn't take sides. He allows the play, the game of Purusha Prakriti, and just watches. But he supports the creation. After all, he is the creation. So Ashwapati has a wide, unshaken look on this unrest of time, and he's facing all experience with unaltered peace. Indifferent? No, that's not correct. I put it on silent and everything else, but this is reminding me to take my medicine. The cardiologist says, actually he said, so many of my patients in the ashram don't do it, and they run into great trouble with their hearts. So you have to be disciplined in this and in yoga. Indifferent to the sorrow and delight, untempted by the marvel and the call, immobile, it beheld the flux of things, calm and apart, supported all that is. His spirit's stillness helped the toiling world. Wow. In the poise of the transcendent, the divine looks upon everything and is indifferent to the sorrow and delight that we are experiencing at this lower level. He's not tempted at all by the marvel or the call, and immobile, because he doesn't move, he doesn't act, he supports. It beheld the flux of things. The flux is the fluctuation, the movement of things. Calm and apart. See, look at that. Calm and apart. Supported all that is. His spirit's stillness helped the toiling world. Here we are. Inspired by silence and the closed eyes' sight, his force could work with a new luminous art on the crude material from which all is made, and the refusal of inertia's mass and the gray front of the world's ignorance, and nescient matter, and the huge error of life. Well, he's very strong here, Sri Aurobindo, because he wants us to understand that only by silence can we be inspired, and the closed eye sight, concentration, contemplation, consecration. His force could work with a new luminous art. That's the supermind. On the crude material from which all is made, and the refusal of inertia's mass, and the gray front of the world's ignorance, and nescient matter, and the huge error of life. Well, seen from the viewpoint of the ignorant mind, vital and body, matter seems to us to be nescient. Nescient is the lack of awareness, knowledge. It's ignorance. In nature, it's the complete self-ignorance. So he's seeing that with this luminous art of the supermind, he can work on this crude material from which all is made. The crude material is our bodies. Having taken birth, we are ignorant, most of us, of all past lives. We are ignorant of the spiritual planes of consciousness. We are certainly ignorant of the supermind. And this refusal of inertia's mass, because inertia just wants to lie down and sleep. We have to awaken matter. And this gray front, this prominent front, the side that is forward, and nescient matter, or it's a falsehood. Better to get out of it. Unite with the divine, where there is all bliss, all beauty, all peace. But Sri Aurobindo says no. He says, you have to continue to divinize life, body, mind, and earth. Because he tells us that this earthly life can and must become the life divine. As a sculptor chisels a deity out of stone, he slowly chipped off the dark envelope, line of defense of nature's ignorance, the illusion and mystery of the inconscient, in whose black pall the eternal wraps his head, that he may act unknown in cosmic time. When I had discussions with Ranganath about this, why should the divine wrap his head in a black pall? Then you can't see anything in a black pall, huh? Cloth that covers the eyes, face. So Ashwapati here has to chisel a deity out of stone, much as a sculptor would. And therefore he slowly chipped off the dark envelope. That dark envelope is our humanity. But that humanity is also a line of defense of nature's ignorance. So when Ranga and I get into this, he says, why shouldn't the divine wrap his head in a black pall? so he can work unknown in cosmic time? It's a good question. But his answer is that the divine is exploring new aspects of himself by creating this creation. So he wants to see all these aspects of himself. If immediately said, okay, everybody will be supermental, where's the fun in that? Where's the play in that? So we see that it is a game, it is a Leela. A splendor of self-creation from the peaks, a transfiguration in the mystic depths. A happier cosmic working could begin and fashion the world shape in him anew. God found in nature, nature fulfilled in God. Now, this is specifically talking about Ashwapati now, but it's also speaking of Sri Aurobindo and his experience, because he is always Ashwapati as well. We have to keep that in mind. So now I need some help to get to the next thing. I think it's here. Where is it? Maybe, let's see. Oh boy. Is it? Yeah, I got it. Okay. So we have God found in nature, nature fulfilled in God. Now, what is nature according to Sri Aurobindo? Well, in the Synthesis of Yoga, he tells us it is an active force of conscious being which realizes itself in its powers of self-experience, its powers of knowledge, will, self-delight, self-formulation, with all their marvelous variations, inversions, conservations, and conversions of energy, even perversions, is what we call Prakriti of nature, in ourselves as in the cosmos. And again, he tells us nature is nothing but the will of God in action. And she's a power of spirit. One may almost say that nature is only the power in being and the development in action of the infinite qualities of the spirit. So when the poet looks at nature, the poet sees all this beauty, but he also sees the destruction. He sees the tsunamis, the volcanoes, the thousands of people killed at one time. So Ashwapati is aware of all of this. He's grown into that awareness. And then we see already in him was seen that task of power. Okay, so now this is only Book 1, Canto 3. And Sri Aurobindo is telling us already in him was seen that task of power. What is this task of power? Well, it is Shakti. And it enables one to face all that can happen and to stand and overcome, also to carry out what the divine will proposes. It can include many things: power over men, events, circumstances, means, etc. But this is not of the mental or vital kind, but by an action through unity of consciousness with the divine and with all things and beings. It is not an individual strength depending on certain personal capacities, but the divine power using the individual as an instrument. So powerful. Life made its home on the high tops of self. The high tops of self are the spiritual planes of consciousness. We've been through it many times. Higher mind, illumined mind, intuitive mind, overmind, and finally, supermind. His soul, mind, heart became a single sun. Only life's lower reaches remained dim. And we had heard about that some weeks ago also, how he rose up so high and he saw these things, and then he had to come back down again because the power was not strong enough in him yet. I told you the story about the crow, remember? He experiments with the crow, making it move. So we see now that only Ashwapati's life's lower reaches remained dim. But then he's going to tell us something else. But there too, in the uncertain shadow of life, there was a labor and a fiery breath. The ambiguous, cowled, celestial puissance worked, watched by the inner witness's moveless peace. Well, this is an incredible line. An ambiguous, cowled, celestial puissance. 4 powerful words. Cowled is covered. We know that the monks in the West would wear a cowl. And this celestial power, this puissance, worked. But it's watched by the inner witness's moveless peace. And that's where Sri Aurobindo tells us, stand back. Look at yourself. Look at your actions. Look at your thoughts. Look at your movements. But without reacting to them.
Why is always quiet, Narad? Why is always quiet inside? He should come out and help us.
But they are helping us. And it's just a matter of time when we'll be able to tear these veils that keep us from the divine presence. It's only a matter of time. Oh, for me, it could be some lifetimes. For some of you, it could be this lifetime. But I know that this inner witness, with its moveless peace, is watching everything. Now we have in the essays on the Gita, Sri Aurobindo's definition of the witness soul. He says, the witness soul is the immutable Purusha. And that's from Essays on the Gita. So he's going to continue and tell us more about what is happening to Ashwapati. Even on the struggling nature left below, strong periods of illumination came. Lightnings of glory after glory burned. Experience was a tale of blaze and fire. Air rippled round the argosies of the gods. Strange riches sailed to him from the unseen. Splendors of insight filled the blank of thought. Knowledge spoke to the inconscient stillnesses. Oh, there's so much to go through here. Rivers poured down of bliss and luminous force, visits of beauty, storm sweeps of delight rained from the all-powerful mystery above. So we see that Asrapati is receiving more and more of these experiences, realizations. Now, we could have a realization of something, maybe in a dream or a dream state, when maybe Mother comes to us, or maybe Sri Aurobindo comes to us. But these are not fixed things. They're moments of grace. And they will fade also, because they go into the deeper part of our being and they do their work. So even on the struggling nature left below, because he's so high already, and then Sri Aurobindo is telling us that there is a struggling nature left below. And even then, strong periods of illumination came. Lightnings of glory after glory burned. Experience was a tale of blaze and fire. And that fire is Agni.
Is what?
Agni. Absolutely. Air rippled round the argosies of the gods. What's an argosy?
Merchant ship.
It's a fleet of merchant ships.
What?
Merchant ships are argosies, but it's a fleet of them, and they have rich cargo. They're carrying rich cargo. And so then we see, after he mentions argosy of the gods, he tells us strange riches sail to him from the unseen. And then splendors of insight filled the blank of thought. Why is it a blank of thought? Because he has already reached the silent mind. And in that silent mind, there is no thought. None at all. Knowledge spoke to the inconscient stillnesses. And there's a lot to go on knowledge, but I'm already running late, so let me just finish it for now. Rivers poured down of bliss and luminous force, visits of beauty, storm sweeps of delight, rained from the all-powerful mystery above. Now, he capitalizes the word mystery. And a mystery, according to the dictionary now, is a spiritual truth that is incomprehensible to reason and knowable only through divine revelation. That's the dictionary, huh? Incredible. So we'll break for now. Any questions? Okay. Yes,
You were
Bhaskar.
mentioning about the mask,
Yeah,
that
a
Ashwapati-
cowl.
Yeah,
Yes.
cowl. Ashwapati was wearing that, or who was wearing this?
The cowl.
Uh,
Well, it's the mask that covers all of us. We're all wearing it.
all. Okay.
All of us are wearing it. And only when we can lift it from us can we get some experience of these higher truths.
Excellent.
Okay. We concentrate for a few moments. And Shivy, could you read for us today? Good.
And the everlasting. And the everlasting.
To the still heights, and to the troubled depths. His equal spirit gave its vast ascent, a poised serenity of tranquil strength, a wide, unshaken look on time's unrest, faced all experience with unaltered peace, indifferent to the sorrow and the light, untempted by the marvel and the call. Immobile it beheld the flux of things, calm and apart supported all that is. His spirit's stillness helped the toiling world, inspired by silence and the closed eye's sight. His force could work with a new luminous art on the crude material from which all is made, and the refusal of inertia's mask, and the grey front of the world's ignorance, and the nascent matter and the huge error of life. As a sculptor chisels a deity out of stone, he slowly chipped off the dark envelope, line of defense of nature's ignorance, the illusion and mystery of the inconscient, in whose black palm the eternal wraps his head, that he may act unknown in cosmic time. A splendor of self-creation from the peaks, a transfiguration in the mystic depths, a happier cosmic working could begin and fashion the world shape in him anew. God found in nature, nature fulfilled in God. Already in him was seen that task of power. Life made its home on the high tops of self. His soul, mind, heart became a single sun. Only life's lower reaches remained dim. But there too, in the uncertain shadow of life, there was a labor and a fear and a fiery breath. The ambiguous cowed celestial puissance worked watched by the inner witness's moveless peace. Even on the struggling nature left below, strong periods of illumination came. Lightnings of glory after glory burned. Experience was a tale of blaze and fire. Air rippled round the argosies of the gods. Strange riches sailed to him from the unseen. Splendors of insight filled the blank of thought. Knowledge spoke to the inconscient stillnesses. Rivers poured down of bliss and luminous force. Visits of beauty, storm sweeps of delight, rained from the all-powerful mystery above.